More than likely.
There you go.
There's Marie.
There
All right,
she
guys.
is.
Oh, hey, guys.
Sandy.
Marie and Company.
I just can't see myself. Well, hey, guys, welcome.
Hey, guys.
This is Top Tier Talk for Monday, February 6th. Glad you guys could join us here. We do this every Monday, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And, welcome back to Marie.
And Sandy.
Yeah.
And Sandy. Sorry, Sandy, I didn't mean to slight you there. All right, guys, good deal. Hey, we're gonna talk tonight about the fortunes in the follow-up and booking follow-up appointments and that type of thing. So it'll be a good little training. John's going to kick us off with that. Before that, though, I wanted to talk a little bit because there seemed to be questions about the co-op. I sent out an email last week and just wanted to kind of gauge interest in the advertising co-op. We've been talking about doing a co-op for a long time. We used to run one a couple of years ago, and then we stopped, and we've been talking about it for a while now. And I kind of set the dollar figure at $250 just to make sure that we had serious people participating. If you make it too cheap, it'll dilute the whole thing, and we won't be able to buy good advertising. But there was some confusion from, I think, probably newer people more than anything. And what a co-op really is for either new people who don't really know how to do marketing for themselves yet, or people that don't want to do marketing for themselves. Okay, and there's certainly a lot of those people too. So that's who it's for. So if you're out there doing your own marketing and you're having success and you're generating leads, you don't have to participate in the co-op. It's not like a mandate or anything like that. But if you're somebody who isn't generating leads, maybe you've been here a while too and you're not generating any leads and you're not doing any business, well, it's probably a good idea then to participate. We'll send out at some point this week, once we kind of finalize everything, we'll send out an email to those who have expressed interest and give you the more details as far as the actual cost. I think we'll lower it a little bit for this first one, from the $250 to what yet, not sure. We want to see what advertising we can buy with the people that said they'd participate. And, and then we'll go from there. But to let you know, too, how a co-op works is you'll get an equal number of leads. We can't guarantee any number of leads. We have an idea of, percentage-wise, how many opt-ins you should get. But, what we can tell you is it'll be equitable. We'll use a rotator for the website, so everyone will get, an equal number of leads when we're advertising a website. And if we advertise a phone number, same thing. Everyone will get an equal number of messages, or at least people listening to your 800 link message, because we'll have that in a rotator as well. So it'll all be fair and equitable. And if you're someone who's been here and you're brand new and you're not generating leads, then it's probably a good idea to participate. The other thing a co-op does is it's a great selling point when you're talking to prospects to let them know that there's advertising that they can plug into when they come on board, and they don't have to learn a bunch of new stuff that maybe they don't want to learn. So,
hey, Steve, this is Michael. Just real quick, with 800 link and the way that co-op works, they won't just listen to the message. You'll get a message left to you. That's the distribution model for that. So you'll actually get messages that you can return, and will be prospects for you to return calls to. So, just to clarify.
Right. It would be as if you were advertising your own 800
Correct.
number. Yep.
Correct.
All right. Good deal. So that's that for the co-op, and we'll get out an email with more, details to all of you who, just to the people who responded back and said you're interested. We'll send that out to you. And then we'll probably have a call too, just before we roll it out, just to kind of explain everything and answer any final questions.
But his eggs ready.
Yeah, that was a text. Yeah, sounds like. Just one other thing. I'm not going to beat a dead horse. We're still looking for testimonial videos. I know Simon needs to get a haircut, but besides Simon, you guys could send us a video if you haven't done it already. Be greatly appreciated. We'll put it up on the site. We want to get some new videos up there too, and we want to get shorter videos up there. We have a bunch of testimonials that are like 2.5 minutes long, and that's too long. we're looking for 45 seconds to a minute. We showed you an example last week of a really good one that Sean Dennison did. And, just make sure when you record it, you hold your phone like this and get a good video and get it to us. If you don't know how to get it to us or you can't upload it to YouTube, just let us know and we'll help you. We'll help you get that to us. And that's all I got. So with that, John, do you want to kick us off here?
Yeah, and we also maybe we should let them know that we're still doing tweaks on the webinar. We got some exciting new little tweaks that we're doing, and so by Wednesday, and also for some of you new people, we are doing it twice a week now. So Wednesday at 5 Pacific and Saturday morning at 9 Pacific time. And I'm finding it a lot better because when you go to invite prospects, it's great to not have to wait a whole week. So you can do one of two things. You can either invite your prospects to the one that's coming up. Then when that one's done, invite them to the next one. Or, you can consolidate an email and say, to your back office, your prospects, and invite them and say, as an announcement, hey, every Wednesday, every Friday. Oh, we got an echo now, right? What was that?
I don't know if that was my
Text man.
dinging
Text
text. Yeah.
Every Wednesday and Saturday we have, just click webinar.prosperitynox.com and click the one you want. You can do it that way, and we got some other exciting tweaks to make it actually a little bit shorter, and a couple more things that we're working on that I think we'll have done by Wednesday as well. Right, Steve?
Oh, we definitely will. It's going to be different than even Saturdays, which was we were trying something else out, but it'll be different and I think even better. I just wanted to show you this page if you haven't seen it already. Webinar.prosperitynexus.com. It's going to drive people to this page, and they're going to be able to choose to register for Wednesday or register for Saturday or register for both days. Okay.
Right.
So just simple to remember. We take care of. Michael actually has been kind enough to take care of the forwarding links. So all you got to do is send them to webinar.prosperitynexus.com and let them register. Make sure, though, when they register that you tell them to put your name in the referred by field so that, we know it's that you're referring them.
Hey, guys, Ed Bound in Texas. I just wanted to make a quick recommendation while we're on this particular topic. When you're talking to a prospect, and make sure you send them preferably to the very next opportunity to get them in front of the information. And we're going to talk about shortly scheduling that follow-up call. Point is, they're out there looking. You're not the only person they're looking at, the only business opportunity they're looking at. So the faster you can get them in front of your website and the very next webinar we have and schedule that follow-up call while it's fresh on their mind, the better.
Yeah, I added I do have to update the calendar for the Saturday call as well, but if you haven't seen it already, there is a template here on the calendar, so you can just blast this out. It does pull pretty well. So you can use that if you want. You can change it up if you want, but it'll give you something to work with to start off. If you're not talking to your prospects, but you're going to blast them out, to your autoresponder list, you can use this, and it does well. All right, John.
Yeah, exactly. And these tools, I've been doing little surveys with some of my people, and I've been finding out that there's so many dropped things that certain reps are not doing. And guys, all these things are what produce sales. I've been finding that our new presentation is really good, but added to the live webinar, it's almost a power move. Like people, you could either go either way. You could send them directly to the live webinar first to whet their appetite, and then the ones that are interested, you set them to your website so they can see more things and then do the follow-up. Or, if there's some people that have already went to your website and they're sitting in your back office, I've got a whole bunch of people in my back office, I just keep inviting them to these live webinars. And I told Steve on Saturday, I got a text from some guy who's been in my back office for months and months. And I attempted to close him many, many times. And I just couldn't get him over the hump. And the hump is always in the area of, can I do this with the tools that I have been presented with? And his text out of the blue, 7 o'clock Saturday night was, hey, John, it's Peter. I just seen the new webinar. I mean, no, I keep getting your email blast, and I went to your new site. I can't believe the difference in your sales funnel and all the things you have on it. He goes, I'm in. And I went, wow. So then I texted him back and I said, hey, tomorrow, he did this Friday night. So I said, hey, Saturday morning, you ought to see our new live webinar too, which really helps. So he comes up and watches the Saturday morning, and he calls me back in the afternoon. He says, I'm in. It'll give me about a week to get my cash together, and I'm coming in. So it's a knockout punch I think with the live webinars and the new sales funnel. So go back into your central files that you have, whether it's on 800 Link or whether it's your back office item, or if you've purchased leads and you got all these things. Try to rustle them all up and start blasting these out, guys. A lot of money there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, our funnel now, the website looks totally different if somebody saw it even a month ago, honestly. So it's, our funnel is really, we've really tightened it up. John's right too. I mean, when people look at a business opportunity, I mean, the biggest question is, can they do it? Right? Then of course, can they afford it, I suppose, but can I do it? And do I think that I can make money with this, with the tools that are being provided? And we've really stepped it up as far as the tools are concerned. And you're right, with the resource of the webinar, that's probably the biggest thing, is a live event. But the combination of the website and the live event is really, there should be no excuse for any of us not making money at this point.
Yeah, if somebody thinks they can do it, money doesn't become a stop. If money's a major stop, it's also because they don't think they can do it. But when, everybody in their lives has something that when they actually think, oh, I gotta have this. I don't care whether it's just for pleasure or it's business, or I gotta go to this concert, whatever it is. Once they are that excited and they know that this is good for them, they go out on their own and they find the money. But if they're not convinced on that, can I do this thing? I don't care what you do with them. Like, this guy wasn't convinced 5 months ago, and all of a sudden he became convinced. And there you go. So,
yeah. And just one last thing, the new webinar that we're going to, it's just tweaked, but we're going to be addressing that issue, I think, a little bit stronger on Wednesday's webinar. So, yeah.
All right. The follow-up, there's 3 steps to closing somebody, and it always starts in step 1, which is you're striking interest with a lead. A lead is just a lead, and he's either already got interest because he filled out a form or saw a webinar, or it's a purchase lead that you have to call up and strike some interest, or maybe you took out an online classified at Craigslist, or maybe you bought some paid traffic and he went to your back office and he watched something. Whatever the case is, that lead starts gradually turning into a prospect as his interest level goes from 0 to 7 or 8 or whatever. The point is, step 1 is striking interest. Step 2 is educating them on the opportunity, however you do that. And step 3, of course, is getting that decision, collecting that decision that he wants to move on. And if he has any questions, you do that. So that follow-up is that final thing of the close. Now, regarding online classifieds, the way I was taught by a couple gurus in the industry was, if you don't really find out from the prospect why he's looking and what he wants to achieve, then he's not really a prospect. He's a bit of a suspect, as we used to call him. Yes, you can send him to your website and you can hope that he's going to view the material and get excited about solving his why. But it's way better if out front, before you send him there, you can have him be willing to voice why he wants to improve his life. And then when you send him to the webinar, he's now looking at the webinar, not because you told him to go because you're trying to be a salesman and sell him something, but he's going there to see if indeed this particular opportunity can solve his pain, solve his problems, solve his lifestyle needs, because that's what we're selling here, lifestyle. So step one is really important, because if you find the guy's why and he expresses it to you, and then he goes, chances are he's going to complete step two, and chances are he's going to want to be willing to book a follow-up so you can get any other questions answered. Because the ideal way to close a prospect is what's called the invisible close. Instead of being a car salesman to handle every objection and slam dunking him into buying a car, you want this guy to close himself. That's what the invisible close is. Well, how does somebody close themselves? You've closed yourself on many things in your life. And what happens is there's a certain point when you get enough information and you feel good about the people you're dealing with that you go, oh, that's it, I'm in. Just like this guy who called me up. He calls me and says, John, I'm in. There's no objections to handle. He didn't even really have that many questions other than sending him to the thing. So how do you book that follow-up, since the fortune is indeed in the follow-up? Well, the way I book it is when I interview somebody, I really want him to see if he's willing to express his why. And I was taught that if you do it in a certain form, it becomes a little bit easier. And everybody has a different way of doing it. I'm just going to tell you how I do it, and the other leaders are going to give you some of their tips. I always ask them, like, what they want less of in their life, what they want more of in their life, and are they really interested in handling that now, or is this a pipe dream? So, for instance, if I'm talking to Dave, hey, Dave, I saw you left me your message that you used to be a car salesman, but you got 3 kids, a couple of them coming to college, and you're looking around to, is this a good time to talk about that e-learning business you just saw on Craigslist, just to groove him in? He gets grooved in. Say, great, well, listen, I have a few questions to ask you to see if we can qualify you for this business. You got a second? He says, okay. One of my favorite phrases is, would it be okay? That's a surveyed phrase that tends to make prospects not put their sales filters up. So if you guys, so would it be okay if I do a short interview and ask you a few questions? Yeah, John. Okay. Well, listen, I'm sure you might have thought about this, but what are some of the things that you like less of in your life? What are some of the things you want more of in your life? Let's start out with the things that you want more of in your life. You know, and I might have to groove them in and say, you know, like, you need more money. I'm probably sure of that, but like, why do you need more money? But, well, I got 3 kids to go to college, and, you know, one of them's 18, and God, he wants to go to an Ivy League school, and I've already tapped into and you get them to talk about, the more talking the prospect does, the better, really. Oh, yeah, I understand. And I'm writing this down, kid, college. Well, is there anything else? Well, you know, I'm sick of going to bed at night and stressing out. So you'd like less stress? And I go through this less of, more of thing until he doesn't really have much more to talk about. It usually only takes 5 or 6 minutes. And then I say, well, are you really sincere about handling that? What would your life be like if you, oh my God, they usually cut your communication. If I had no stress at night and wasn't living paycheck to paycheck anymore, could pay off all my bills and not worry about putting my kids to college, my God, I have died and went to heaven. All right, well, listen, we specialize in handling people's lifestyle here. And I want to confirm your email, because what I want to do is send you to my website presentation and orientation that's going to show you how you can handle helping your kid get to college. And in other words, I repeat, I don't just tell them to go, I repeat what they gave back to me. And the reason I do that is because when I get off the phone, I want him to show up to this video first, right? Well, he's probably going to show up if he feels like, wow, this guy took the time to find out what I need and want. He's repeated to me several times. I think I'm going to go to see if I can handle that. And then what I do, before I go, I want to consult their integrity regarding showing up. This is the part that I learned that changed my business around in my MLM, which was, okay, because I've had a lot of people in the last month tell me about how many people don't show up after they've interviewed them. Well, if you didn't get them to talk about their why, so they got high interest to showing up, and if you didn't consult their integrity about will they show up, Well, there you go. So what I do, so listen, Dave, I got your email. You know you're going to show up to this thing. We're going to try to solve your 18-year-old's going to that Ivy League school and go to bed at night with no stress and pay off all your bills so you and your wife can take a vacation and relax. And so it's now Monday. Today's about 5 o'clock. So with this time tomorrow, reason why I do that is because if they're talking to you now, chances are this time is good for them, right? Is this time good for you tomorrow or Wednesday? I think I can do it. Can you do it? I'd like to book that. So we both know that after you do this, I'm going to come to get together with you and answer any other questions, blah, blah, blah. And I even sometimes tell a story. He goes, yeah. And I say, well, listen, Dave, have you ever went to the doctor's office and had a 3 o'clock appointment and got in at 5:45? How'd that make you feel? Well, it happens all the time. I hate that. Yeah. Well, listen, I'm going to be there for you because I really want to help you solve what you told me, your kid going to college, whatever. The point is, all right, can I count on you to actually be there? And if you can't, because life can happen, that you're actually going to call me up to reschedule. Because remember, Dave, we're sitting around here. We're going to actually help you solve. Anyway, I think you get the gist of what I'm doing. And if the guy finally says, yeah, he's going to have a harder time backing off because everybody's got a little integrity. He's already told you he's going to show up. He's already agreed to it. Now, if he doesn't, it's good to find that out now because he's probably a tire kicker. I've had guys get mad at me for trying to pin them down. And I've got to the point where, well, listen, Dave, it doesn't seem to me like this is probably the right timing for you business-wise. We're really looking for people that want to solve their stuff now and blah, 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 blah. So I'm not even going to really send this to you. Why don't you call me back when you really, really, oh, no. And sometimes they'll apologize or whatever. And sometimes they'll actually go, you're right. This is not for me right now. So that's my quick little overview. And I've got a very, very high success rate at getting people to not only show up, so they show up in my back office, and I can't guarantee how much they do, but they at least show up and opt in. And I've got about an 8 out of 10 show up for the appointment that I book. And that's very important because if you're hardly getting anybody showing up to step 3, as we've been telling for a long time, it takes about 8 to 10 people to get through our simple system, all 3 steps. And if you never get to the point where you can have a 3-way communication, you're not going to really get that many sales. So that's what I wanted to bring to the table.
Good.
Yeah. Anybody have anything to add? That was good. That was solid. I know you're good on the phone, and you have a high closing rate also. Probably higher than most people on this call, and that probably has a lot to do with it. Is just that the end of that where I've always personally asked for their why, so I get that. I right up front I ask, hey, what's going on in your life that had you even leave a message right now? And they usually share enough. And but I personally have never gone through the more of, less of, and that could be certainly worth trying for sure. And booking the strong follow-up. Ed or Michael, do you guys have anything?
This is Ed. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the things that he's talking about I just do them a little bit differently. One of the first things that I talk about is, you had left me a voicemail, and if they didn't leave me what they do for a profession, I'm going to ask them right away, what are you doing for a living now, and why are you looking for a home-based online business? What's going on in your life? And I listen. I'm just, like John said, it's hugely important that they understand that you care. Okay, I've been doing this business model now for 10 years, and you can run up against the wall and or you can open your ears and listen. And when people understand that you care about what they're looking for, and like John, I'm taking notes. When I ask them that question, what are you doing for a living right now, and what are you, why are you looking for a home-based online business, man? I'm attuned to everything, and I'm writing it down so I can come back and address that later on in the call. Another question that I ask, I'll go through. Have you ever owned a business before, or ever owned your own business or any other business, done any business or ownership type of thing? Just a question I'll run through just to kind of get an idea of who I'm talking to. When you find a business you like, do you have 12 to 15 hours a week to devote to building that. Just some general
Mhm.
questions I'll ask. And again, I'm taking notes and I'm opening my ears big time. And then I'll kind of go into the way I handle it. I'll say, look, I enjoy the time freedom of this business provides, and I'm only looking to work with 4 or 5 quality people each month. I'll show them how to duplicate massive success I've had in this industry over the last decade. I'm looking for a certain type of person. Do you consider yourself coachable? And I'm listening again. I'm looking for big thinkers. Do you consider yourself a big thinker? And then I'll ask the question of, okay, well, how much money are you looking on a monthly basis? What are you trying to find? And I'm looking for the people that, and I've got this on my script, and it's the one I hand out to everybody that comes into the business with me. The ideal person you're looking for me, my opinion, is 10 to 20,000 a month. And I want to hear them tell me that. Great. Have you ever made that kind of money before? This gives me an understanding of how to proceed forward. Who am I talking to? What kind of background do they have? And do I really have a player? And then when I'm booking the call, as I said early on in this call, one of the things I want to do is try to get them to the information as quick as possible and schedule that follow-up call as quick as possible to be able to get their questions answered. But the step 2 process for me is to call them back, and I let them know right out of the gate when I'm going through my process. Hey, we're going to get you the information. We're going to make sure you get get your questions answered. Step 2 of the process, after you've gone to the website or whatever I'm sending them to, the webinar or what have you, I says, call me back. Now, let me back up, because when I first started this industry a long time ago, and if you're new, you need to be scheduling the follow-up call, and you need to be the aggressor to make the calls and get the practice and doing what you're doing. I did that for years, but what I do at this point, once you've got the practice and understand how to handle it, I let them know and call me, and we'll get all. But the way I frame it is, I tell you what, call me back. We're going to get all your questions answered. Then you let me know if this business is a good fit for you, if it's something you can get excited about, and if you're interested in helping others and making a ton of money. If yes, then we'll get your business up and running in 24 hours. I'll show you how to start earning that $10,000 to $15,000 a month you were talking about to help your kids' college or whatever it was they shared with you earlier. You now draw it back in there. Whether you're looking for 10 to 20,000 part-time or unlimited full-time, let's get your questions answered. I'll show you how, with our system, professional training and support, we'll make that happen for you. Hey, if it's not for you, simply share that with me, as a courtesy. We'll part ways, no hard feelings. This business, it's way too lucrative. I'm not going to try to convince anyone. Is that fair enough with you? So I'm back to that question, kind of like what John was saying in a different way. Is that fair enough for you? And mine's at that booking part where I'm sharing this. And great. That's how simple this business is. Let me ask you a quick question. Do you think you could send people to a live webinar on a website? Who can't do that? And they usually say, yeah, I can do that. Great. Then you can do this business. And then I'll follow up, booking it again, coming back to it. Hey, let me ask you, how soon will you be looking at this business overview or this webinar? And in most cases, they'll say, well, tonight, tomorrow. And again, I ask that because I want to know how serious they are. Maybe next week sometime, kind of busy this week. I know who I've got right then, right there. If they say, I'm doing it right now, I'll do it tonight. Excellent. Tell you what, I've got about 2 to 5 minutes. We can get some questions answered. You're going there right now. Tell you what, why don't we get back together an hour from now? Or if they're going to tonight's webinar or tomorrow's webinar, book that for right after the call. And I'll handle it. So I'll provide step 2, get you the keys, get your questions, make sure you fully understand it. We talk again, the decision is yours to move forward and get your questions answered or not. My only desire is to help people who truly want to earn a great amount of income and have a lot of fun working from home. That's, a lot of the same things John said, just in a different manner that kind of works for me. So anyway.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think you gotta use your own personality, obviously, and not be a robot. Probably for like you alluded to there, Ed, I think for new people or for people that, are maybe struggling a little bit, you probably should go for booking that appointment because, 2 things. Obviously, you're pushing the envelope. You're being the aggressor there, so you're going to get more people to talk to on that follow-up call. And it's easier to book a 3-way call, certainly, when we know the time and the appointment is set. And that way, you can get you can get your sponsor or whoever you do 3-way calls with on the call there as well. So it's probably important to book it. If you're not already rolling in the dough.
Depending on who I'm talking to, quite honestly, is where I make that decision. If
I do
it's
the
somebody
same
that's
thing.
not, if it's not showing me much interest and they're not giving me a lot of love, then, hey, you call me back. Now, granted, if it's a business owner, I'm trying to get away from this brick and mortar. It's driving me crazy. I don't have any hours. I can relate right then and there. Or it's somebody that's trying to spend more time with their family. No doubt about it. Hey, we got this call coming up tonight. Why don't we? I'll take 5 minutes afterwards. We'll get your questions answered. How about 7:45 my time? Remember whatever time zone they're in when you're talking to them. It's important, so there's no confusion. And I'll book it. I guess I was doing an overall general overview, but truly, if you've got a player, book it. And if you're new, book it right then, right there, with no questions asked.
Yep. Yeah, because you want to. Yeah, because you want to do it as a three-way call. Ideally.
Yes.
If you're new.
Yes. Let your sponsor know immediately after you book that call. Hey, I've got somebody going to the call tonight or the webinar tonight. Can you be available right afterwards? That's the money. If you don't, you try to do that on your own, you're shooting yourself in the foot.
All right, guys. Well, good. That was good.
We are at the bottom of the hour, Steve, and I don't want to take a lot of time, but just to affirm what both Ed and John said, personally, I have over the last year or so, I've been using much like what John says, asking the questions, what do you want more in life? And the key thing is getting to the person's why. If you know that, and John did a great job of talking about that, that is a key thing. If you can learn what that is, and you're solving that problem for them and letting them know that what they're going to see and what they're going to experience with looking at the website, etc., is going to do that for them. It entices them more to pursue to the next step. And just exactly like John and Ed said, making that appointment is critical.
And when you schedule that three-way, Michael, would you agree? Make sure your sponsor knows what their why is.
Oh, absolutely.
So he can reach back out and touch on that. Absolutely imperative.
Absolutely imperative. No question about it.
Yep. Hey, does anybody else have anything? I think pretty sure we got the lines open, so you can just feel free to speak up if you have any questions about this topic or anything else that's going on with your business right now.
While you're waiting for that, when you turn over the three-way, you can even say, "Hey, John, I got Dave Spencer on the line. He's in Austin, and great guy. He's a former auto salesman, and he's a real sharp guy. He wants to make $10,000 or $20,000 a month. He's got a couple kids coming up to college, and he really wants to get into the money pretty quickly. Hey, Dave, this is John. He's one of our top guys. Bingo." And
that's teeing it up. That's teeing it up perfectly.
Tee it right up, yeah.
Yep.
And then be quiet. And then be quiet, guys. We talked about it before in that three-way. Make sure that from that point on, zip it. Don't say anything. Let your sponsor do the work, and he'll close it until they call you back into the conversation.
Yeah, and even if you feel like jumping in, even if you think what you have to say is better than your sponsor, please don't, because you'll interrupt. You have no idea where your sponsor is headed. He's listening. He's probably more experienced. And he's going somewhere. And if you jump in, you're going to do two things. You're going to ruin his train of thought. And I got to tell you, you're going to get most sponsors mad at you. I had one guy when I first got trained that I thought I said something really good, and I jumped in and he hung up. He actually hung up. And then I said, "Hey, I don't know what happened to Mike. He got disconnected. I'll call you back tomorrow." And then Mike got on the phone. He goes, "John," he goes, "You're a pretty sharp guy, but you just did the biggest no-no. You had and he just beat the heck out of me. And I finally learned to just keep my mouth shut no matter what. The only time I suggest jumping in is if the sponsor's saying the guy's name wrong or something like that.
Yes.
Right. Yep. And the other thing about that, guys, listen. When you turn the call over, don't just start doing something else or whatever. Pay close attention, because you're going to be that sponsor that is going to be doing three-way with somebody else. You need to know exactly how the flow of the call, what are they saying, why are they saying this, and if there are enough three-ways, you'll pick that up. So don't start multitasking when you turn it over to them and say, "I'll wait for him to call me back and do something else." Really important. This is on-the-job training, guys. We're in like this call tonight. We're showing you exactly how to be successful in this business, and that call is hugely important as well. Learn how to do it yourself.
I've had that happen too. All right. Hey, Dave, listen, we're done. Dave, send him the website. Dave?
Yes. Yeah.
Dave.
Yeah. It's you're in class, man. I talk about it all the time. You're in university, And every call that we're doing now, every three-way call, you're in class with a professor who can help you get what you're looking for if you'll pay attention. If you don't, who knows?
Well said. Does anybody else have anything? Going once, going twice. All right.
Rock and roll.
Well, yeah. Well, get your prospects to the webinar on Wednesday, and let's make some money.
Let's do it.
All right, guys.
All right.
See ya.
Take care.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a good one.
Bye.